Ladies and gentlemen, there's something powerful about keeping your vulnerabilities and weaknesses to yourself. Too often, we're taught that being open, transparent, and vulnerable is a sign of strength. But let me tell you, there's a difference between being open and being exposed. You see, when you reveal your vulnerabilities to the wrong people, you give them power over you. And when you give others power over you, you risk losing control of your own destiny. You might think that showing your weak spots will bring people closer to you, make them understand you better. But that's not always the case. The truth is, people are drawn to strength, not weakness. They might sympathize with your struggles, but sympathy isn't what will push you forward, it's respect. And respect comes from strength that's forged in silence, strength that's built when no one else is watching. The moment you let others see your cracks, some might try to exploit them, intentionally or not. You don't need to give anyone that advantage. Look, I'm not saying you should bottle up your emotions, pretend like everything is fine when it's not. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is using your vulnerabilities as tools for growth, not as weapons for others to use against you. You're human. You have weaknesses, flaws, and scars. But those scars, those are part of your journey. They represent battles fought and lessons learned. They're not for anyone else to tear open and expose when it's convenient for them. A woman who understands this is a woman who has mastered the art of silence. She knows that she doesn't need to broadcast her struggles to gain support or validation. She knows that true strength is not in the confession of her weaknesses, but in her ability to rise above them. She keeps her inner world closed, never allowing the opinions of others to dictate her worth. When you keep your vulnerabilities to yourself, you allow yourself the space to heal, to grow, and to turn those weaknesses into something that makes you even more powerful. It's in the struggle that you find your true power. And when you keep that struggle to yourself, you retain the upper hand. You are not a victim of your weaknesses. You are the architect of your own recovery. So never give people the satisfaction of seeing your rawest pain, your deepest fears, your insecurities. Let them be the fuel that drives you to become stronger, smarter, and more resilient. When you keep your vulnerabilities hidden, you don't just protect yourself, you position yourself for greatness. And greatness doesn't come from exposing your wounds, it comes from using them to sharpen your edge and move forward with power, confidence, and purpose. When it comes to your big dreams and ambitions, let me tell you something, keep them to yourself. Now, I know what you're thinking, but if I don't share my vision, how will people know what I'm about? How will I get support? You see, the truth is, not everyone deserves to know your goals. Most people will never understand the fire inside you, the hunger that keeps you up at night, pushing you toward greatness. They'll look at your dreams and see only impossibilities, not opportunities. They'll question you, doubt you, and tell you that you're setting yourself up for failure. You can't afford to expose your ambitions to that kind of negativity. Not everyone who smiles at you is rooting for you. Not everyone who tells you good luck truly believes in your potential. Most people have their own limitations, their own fears, and when they hear your dreams, they project their own insecurities onto you. They'll tell you that your goals are too big, too unrealistic, that you're aiming too high. They don't realize that the reason they can't see it is because they're not meant to. Your dreams are yours to conquer, not theirs to understand. The problem is, the moment you share your big dreams, you give people the power to judge them, to criticize them, and to steer you off course. They'll offer advice based on their own small thinking, based on the world as they know it, not the world as you will create it. Your dreams don't fit into their narrow understanding of what's possible. And when that happens, they'll pull you down with them, not because they want to, but because they can't bear the thought of you flying higher than them. Listen, I'm not saying you should never share your dreams, but before you let anyone in on your vision, ask yourself, do they have the courage to dream as big as I do? Do they have the drive to chase their own greatness? If they don't, why are you letting them into yours? The people you share your dreams with need to be part of the same energy, the same mindset, the same ambition that you carry with you. You can't afford to let anyone dilute your vision. Keep your dreams close, guard them fiercely. You see, when you don't tell people about your goals, you control the narrative. You set the pace. You don't have to answer to anyone about what you're working on. People will watch from the sidelines as you quietly build and grow. They'll see the results, not the struggle. They'll witness your success, but they'll never know the full story. And that, my friend, is power. When you do speak about your dreams, let it be when you're so far ahead that no one can question you. Let your actions be so loud, your success so undeniable, that they can't help but respect the dream that you never needed to explain. When you're climbing your ladder of success, don't waste energy on those who think it's too steep, too long, or too dangerous. Focus on your ascent and let the world see you rise. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them question your every move while you stay focused on your next step. The moment you reveal your ambitions, you risk giving away the very thing that will propel you forward. Keep your dreams to yourself and let your actions speak louder than any words ever could. When it comes to your financial situation, the first thing you need to understand is this: never let people into your financial world. Whether you're making a little or you're sitting on a fortune, keep your money matters to yourself. You have no obligation to share your financial standing with anyone. The moment you let someone into your bank account or your assets, you've given them the opportunity to judge you, manipulate you, or even worse, to take advantage of you. Your financial life is yours, and no one else needs to know about it. The world loves to define you by your financial status. They'll look at what you have or what you don't have and use it to put you in a box. People will try to make assumptions about your worth based on the numbers in your bank account. If you're struggling, they'll see weakness. If you're wealthy, they'll see opportunity. And believe me, that's a dangerous game to play. People will either see you as prey or they'll want to take a piece of what you have. But here's the truth you need to realize: your wealth isn't just about money, it's about power. The less people know about your financial situation, the more control you have. When people don't know how much you're worth, they can't exploit that information. They can't come at you with expectations, assumptions, or demands. When they don't know whether you're rich or broke, they can't use your finances to manipulate you. There's another reason why you don't reveal your financial situation. You don't want people around you who are only there because of what you can give them. If your circle is filled with people who are only interested in your money, then it's time to reassess who you let in. True loyalty comes from people who are with you for who you are, not what you have. When you keep your financial situation private, you allow relationships to grow from a place of respect, not dependence. You give people the opportunity to see you for what you bring to the table as a person, not what you can provide as a bank. And let's be real for a second. The more you reveal, the more others start making demands. They'll expect handouts, they'll think you owe them something, and they'll expect you to solve their problems. People will begin to see you not as a person, but as a resource, and that's not what you want. Your financial situation should never be someone else's problem to manage or expect from you. You work hard for what you have, and you should control who gets access to it. Also, consider this: when you keep your financial situation private, you hold on to a certain level of mystery and respect. Your money doesn't define you, and revealing it only serves to put you in a position where you might be judged, criticized, or envied. There's power in silence, and the less people know about your money, the more freedom you have to make your own decisions without the burden of others' opinions hanging over your head. In the end, your financial situation is yours to manage. Don't let anyone make you feel obligated to explain or justify what you have or don't have. Keep your wealth, your struggles, your achievements, and your plans close to your chest. Build your financial empire in silence and let your actions speak louder than any number in a bank account. When you learn to protect this part of your life, You protect not only your money, but also your peace of mind and your personal power. For relationships and personal life, these are sacred aspects of your existence. Yet, too many people make the mistake of opening up the doors to their private lives and letting others in. You have to ask yourself, why would you share something that is meant to be protected with the world? It's one of the most powerful things you have, and it's not for everyone to see, judge, or dissect. I think about it. The moment you let people into your personal life, especially your relationships, you invite their opinions, their judgments, and their toxic energy into the most vulnerable parts of your world. People will give you unsolicited advice based on their insecurities, biases, or jealousy. Some might even try to sabotage what you have just because they don't understand or envy your success. You see, your relationships, whether they are romantic, familial, or friendships, are the foundation of your emotional well-being. They define your sense of security, your happiness, and your peace of mind. But when you start letting others dictate what your relationships should look like or what your loved ones should be doing, you lose control. You begin to let external forces shape the very thing that's supposed to nurture and empower you. Realize this, your closest circle, the people you trust most, don't need to be paraded around for public approval. They're not trophies for validation or pawns in someone else's game. They are your partners in growth, your allies in life's struggles, and you need to protect them fiercely. Every time you share too much about your personal life, you make yourself vulnerable to the opinions of others who don't have a stake in your happiness. They don't understand the nuances of your love, your struggles, or the unique dynamics you share. Only you and those you trust can truly grasp what those relationships mean. The reality is, too many people don't respect boundaries. They think they have a right to know everything about you. They'll ask questions, pry into matters that are none of their business, and weigh in on things that they have no understanding of. And if you let them, they'll begin to shape how you view your own relationships. They'll manipulate your perception of what's valuable or worthy. But here's the truth, their opinions are not what matters. What matters is the respect you have for your own boundaries and the strength to keep certain parts of your life hidden from unnecessary scrutiny. Protecting your relationships means protecting your peace. It means you stop handing out the keys to your emotional world to people who don't deserve them. You start to realize that you don't need validation from anyone to validate the importance of your inner circle. What you have is yours to cherish and protect. And if you're truly serious about your journey, about achieving greatness, about building something that lasts, you don't need the world to know your every move, your every connection. What matters is the strength of your bond, the trust you've built, and the loyalty you've nurtured. Those are the things that make your life rich and fulfilling, not the opinions of those who can't see the value in what you've worked so hard to create. So stop seeking approval. Stop opening up your most sacred areas to the wrong people. Keep your personal life private. Keep your relationships close. When you do that, you maintain control over what truly matters, and you build a life that's yours to live without interference from the outside world. When it comes to your failures and mistakes, let me tell you something important. Never reveal them to anyone. You see, in this world, we live in a society that loves to see you fall. They want to see you fail because it feeds their narrative. And you might think, but they'll understand. They'll feel for me. No one's got time for your mistakes. They don't care about your struggles unless they can use them to feel better about their own shortcomings. It's not personal. It's just the way the world works. And if you show them your failures, they'll hold them against you. They'll remind you of them at every turn, especially when you're climbing back up. You see, they'll remember when you didn't succeed, but they won't care when you rise. You need to keep those failures to yourself. Use them. Learn from them. Let them drive you forward, but never expose them to the wolves that are ready to tear you down. You think you're the only one who's made mistakes? The ones who talk about their failures openly aren't the ones succeeding. The real winners, the real warriors in life, are the ones who keep their mistakes locked away and turn them into lessons. They take that pain, that shame, that regret, and they internalize it. They let it fuel them. They transform those failures into power, into fire. Because what most people don't understand is that your failures, when handled correctly, are the secret ingredients to your success. If you keep bringing your mistakes to the table, you'll only find yourself surrounded by people who want to use them against you. When you're climbing, when you're on that journey to the top, you can't afford distractions. You can't afford self-doubt creeping in from the past. You have to show the world the best version of yourself. The world needs to see you as the person who knows exactly where they're going, who doesn't make excuses, who doesn't allow past failures to define them. Keep your failures hidden in the vault of your heart where they belong. Let them stay with you as lessons, not as weaknesses for others to exploit. Remember this, you are not defined by the moments you've fallen, you are defined by the moments you've risen, the moments you've learned, and the moments you've become better because of it. So keep your failures close, but your victories visible. Never let anyone see you sweat. Never let anyone see you stumble. Because the ones who truly rise in silence. They don't need to air their mistakes to the world because their strength is built on what they've learned, not what they've lost. There's something sacred about keeping your next move to yourself. You've got a vision, you've got a plan, and you've got the drive to make it happen. But here's the thing, too many people let their mouths get ahead of them. They want to talk about the next big step before they've even taken it. They want to broadcast their dreams, announce their strategies, and let the world in on their vision. That's a mistake. Your next move should be something so powerful, so calculated, that when it happens, it leaves people stunned. It should hit with the force of a thunderclap, not a whispered murmur. Understand this, the more you reveal, the more you give others a chance to interfere. People won't always support you the way you need them to. Many will question you, tell you it's impossible, or try to talk you out of it. Some will even copy your move, taking your ideas and running with them before you ever get the chance to execute them. This is your dream, not theirs. Your move is yours alone to make, and only when you're ready. You cannot afford to let anyone dilute your fire or distract you from what you've already set into motion. Think about the greatest leaders, the successful entrepreneurs, the warriors of history. None of them revealed their next move before it happened. They understood that preparation is half the battle and timing is everything. They weren't out here announcing their plans to the world, waiting for approval or validation. They moved in silence, allowing their actions to speak louder than any words they could say. They built their success with precision and with purpose, staying true to their vision and executing it with ruthless determination. They knew that in this world, it's not the loudest voice that wins, it's the one that stays focused, quiet, and calculated, letting the outcome prove their worth. Your next move has to be a game changer. Don't let the world know you're about to play. You want them to be blindsided by your results, not prepared for them. When the time comes, when the moment is right, when you've positioned yourself for that breakthrough, that's when you make your move. Until then, you stay locked in, you stay focused, and you keep your plans under wraps. The truth is, you're already ahead of the game. By keeping your cards close, you're keeping your power. You're building momentum without anyone knowing. You're creating something that will shock and awe, not just because of the outcome, but because of the quiet intensity behind it. When you move in silence, you show the world that you're not here for talk. You're here for results, and those results will be undeniable. So don't talk about what you're going to do. Show them. Don't tell them where you're headed, take them by surprise when you get there. Keep your next move to yourself, and when the time comes, make it so powerful, so decisive, that the world will have no choice but to sit back and watch. That's how you win. That's how you dominate. And that's how you take control of your destiny. So let me leave you with this: your failures are yours to own. They are the raw material for your greatness, but they are not for the world to consume. Keep them locked in the vault. Don't share them with people who don't have your vision, don't have your drive, and certainly don't have your future in mind. Instead, use them to fuel your ambition, to light a fire that no one can extinguish. The more you rise, the more you prove to yourself and to the world that you are greater than any mistake you've made. Your success will speak louder than your failures ever could, and the world will never see your mistakes because you'll be too busy showing them your victories. Keep your head up, keep your eyes on the prize, and never let anyone see the cracks in your foundation. Keep going and let your actions tell the story. Because in the end, it's not your failures that define you, it's how you rise from them.